Hello everyone, please come back downstairs. We will continue the presentation. Please come back.
Hello. So we are going to start the second session of the morning, so please take your place. So good morning, everyone. So we are going to start because you are too late. And as you already know, this session or this morning and this day is dedicated to arts and creative industries and also to circular economy. And we are going to have two moments, I would say, during this session. The first moment will be dedicated to give the floor to our partners from different research groups of the Polytechnic Institute of Bragança, because we believe that not only the people that sometimes we think that are related to the topics can contribute, all the people and all the colleagues from other research groups, they can also be involved in this way. So we will have 5 presentations, I demand 5 very short presentations, please. And we will have contributions from UNIAG, that is the Player Management Research Unit, from CEDRI, Research Center in Digitalization and Intelligent Robotics, from GICO, Sustainable Construct Research Group, also from CITED, Transdisciplinary Research Center in Education and Development, and of course from CIMO, that is my research group, that is Mountain Research Group. So we will start from the first presentation. I'm going to check. Will be from UNIAG, and so please you can come. We have with us Elaine, and she's going to speak a little bit about some projects that they have, and in some way they can be related to circular economy. Thank you for accepting.
Thank you for inviting us. As Professor Filomena told, I am Elaine Scalabrini. I am researcher from at UNIAGE, Applied Management Research Unity. And our focus at UNIAGE is the research in management and tourism. What I will present, and try to be short, is a project. We have different projects, but one of them that we are working in is the project Engenhos do Douro, Foundations for the Development of Tourism Centered on the Industrial Values and Assets of the Douro Douro. This is a project Interreg POCTEP, so we are working with some partners from Spain, and the intervention of the project is the area of Douro, and I will present better the aim of the project and what we are doing. Here. Okay. I don't know if work, but you can. So it's important to say that the IPB team is Professor Paulo Dete Fernandes, me, Elaine Scalabrini, Professor João Paulo Teixeira, and Roberto Vaz are the team of IPB. So, Engenhos, we are working in this project since 2024. We already completed the first task that I will present and explain you what was the first task. It's a project of 36 months, so we are working yet in the other tasks that are delimited in the project. Engenhos aims to establish the foundations for the development of tourism centered on industrial values. So we are working with industrial tourism in this project and promoting pilot experience that can serve as a model for the tourist management. As I told you, we are working with partners from Spain. It's 9 entities. 4 of them are from Portugal. We are one of these partners. We have also Turismo Porto Norte, Patrimônio de Portugal, and we have some entities from Spain that the leadership is from Spain, and we have Zamora, Castilla y León, that are also involved in this project. What we want with this project, what we have in the end of this project, the three years. We want to promote of industrial and pre-industrial heritage, development of sustainable tourism strategies to the region, a region that we know that is a low-density territory that have different needs and specific characteristics. So we need to develop these strategies. We want a cross-border cooperation between Portugal and Spain and creation of integrated thematic routes. It's to present at the end possibilities to and alternatives to the over-tourism that happens in other regions of the country, such as Spain and Portugal. We have here Porto, Lisbon, Braga with over-tourism, and we want to have different alternatives to these tourists that visit here our country. In the beginning of the project, we needed to understand the difference between what is industrial tourism, what we want with this. So we needed to do a theoretical framework, and we understood that we have 3 different characteristics related to industrial tourism. We have the industrial heritage, that is structures that are transformed. Was in some time the history was an industry, and now has just a structure, and we can use this in the other forms. We have the pre-industrial heritage that is related to that elements from the Industrial Revolution, and we have also the living industry, that are the industries in operation that can receive visitors. So after that, we started the first task that was to catalog the elements that could be part of this project. So We have here the project intervention area. As I told you, we are in the Douro river region. So in this case, we have 22 municipalities from Portugal, and the NUTS 3, Terras de Trás-os-Montes and Douro, and we have 80 municipalities from Spain, situated in Zamora, Salamanca, and Valladolid. And here we have some numbers of the elements in each municipality. So we developed a questionnaire and sent to these municipalities to identify the elements, the industrial elements. At the end of 3 months of hard work, we had 1,075 elements, industrial and pre-industrial heritage that was cataloged in the cross-border. I have here the database that I could show you, but I don't have enough time. So if you have interest, you can talk to me and I can show this database that was elaborated in this project. From these elements, of course, we have more municipalities in Spain. So 77% was from elements from Spain and 22 from Portugal. It's interesting because one of the question was about the category. It's important to know the category of the element. And we have here a difference. In Spain, we have most of the elements classified as transport infrastructure, such as bridges, train stations, that we can use in the routes. In Portugal, we have most of the elements in wineries. It's a characteristic of the Douro region in Portugal. So our questionnaire just shows us the reality that happens in this region. And we have another categories also that is important in the routes. Oh, no, it's not going. Yes. We also asked to the municipalities. It's important to say that who answered the questionnaire was the municipalities. We also wanted to know about the accessibility, if it's prepared to receive all kind of person. So 44% is partially accessible, so we need to do our hard work in this sense to receive the tourists. About the tourist interesting, 32% is moderate interesting in tourism because we have 1,075 elements. Not of all will be part of the project or the route. So now we are in the phase of analyzing this, selecting which of these elements can be part of the route. At the end of our task here in IPB, we elaborated this interactive map. I won't show you also, but because I don't have time, but if you want, you can talk to me, because we have here, if you see, each of that point is a category, is an element, and based on this, we can select routes of wineries or transport infrastructures, and we can allow the agencies, for instance, tourism agents, offer these routes for their tourists. We already realized an event here in this place with some stakeholders and presented this, and we have some agents also wanted to work with this map, interactive map. At the end, some considerations. We have a value data systematization. We have a diverse tourism potential. It's a region with potential to this industrial tourism. We have here an interactive mapping tool to the stakeholders, an important tool to the stakeholders. We can establish cross-border cooperation, a consolidation strategy in the territory, and accessibility and conservation gaps it's observed with the questionnaire. To end, we had some, and are working now with the strategic guidelines. That is the creation of funding schemes for the recovery of industrial. infrastructures, promotion of public-private partnerships, inclusion of these industrial heritage in regional planning instruments, training of local stakeholders, development of cross-border thematic networkings, and assessment of conservation and tourism potential. This is a briefly presentation because we have a lot of things developed here and we have another tasks in development. Professor Paula is in Valladolid today to work with this project, so she is not here because she is working in Ingenius. Thank you so much. If you want to know more, I am at UNIAG to answer.
I will give the opportunity just for one question if someone wants very short question. No? No. I'm speaking that if someone wants to ask a very short question.
Here I will have one.
Okay.
Thank you for this amazing presentation. It's not the first time that I heard about this work, but I still have some doubts. And as I was listening, I was thinking if you have already some data about how open will be the industrial in this area to convert to potential tourism sites.
Thank you. Now we are in this phase because none of these elements will be part, as I told. More of the elements are private, so we need to now to identify which of them can be part of and are open to be part of the routes.
Okay, thank you. So everyone knows that Elaine is from UNIAG, so please, if you want to get more information, you can contact her or contact Paulo Detta, that is the coordinator of the research unit. So now I call Cedri, João Mendes, where he is. Okay, so of course, also for a very short introduction. Okay, thank you very much for accepting our invitation.
Okay, it's working. So I will try to be very fast. So basically, my name is João Mendes. I'm an internal collaborator of Cedri. And today I will try to talk a little about some of the projects that we work on based on images, scenes from RGB cameras, drones, and also satellites. And how do we analyze this and what are the outcomes that we have from this? So to start, I will not waste very time on here. We know that agriculture is a very important sector here in Portugal, also along the world. But we have some problems with our agriculture specific, namely the sustainability risk associated with that. We know that our decrease of the agricultural labor. We also know that we have a lot of fooding rising needs along the world. Also the pressure from climate changes. And we know that the average age of a farmer in Portugal is 64 years old, which is very close to the retirement age. So we need to do some work on this part. To do this, we are trying to implement some of the emergent technologies, namely machine learning, deep learning algorithms, to try to bring some of this information to our farmers. We use from satellites from the top images. This is information that can bring to us a lot of large scales and multi-temporal coverage. So we have a lot of information, a lot of area, and we have historical values from this. We also can have not only RGB images, but also some spectral information, so we can achieve some new indexes from here to access the health of our cultivars and our growing fields. We have to have some concerns about some key processing steps, namely some projections and resampling need to be consistent because otherwise it will be a mess. Of course, we have also some limitation when we are using this, namely the sensitive of resolution. We have areas from satellite pixels that correspond from 20 meters to 20 meters. So this is a big area to small growing fields as we have in here in Trás-os-Montes. But of course, we have a lot of information that we can extract from here. Namely, what I'm talking about in this is a project that is named iCarbono. When we have the main objective in here is to estimate the soil organic carbon at our regional scale. Basically, we are using images from Sentinel-2, not only RGB images, but also some spectral information. I will try to explain with images to be more easier. Basically, we pick up information from our satellites, namely infrared, namely slope, namely soil characteristics, and so on. We pick up some collects that are data that are measured in field, so some real values from the carbon from the soil, and we basically connect all of this. So we have a point in there that will be measured in a specific location, and we also know that like that information from the satellites is not just from now. We are using NDV indexes from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, so we can expect what is the carbon right now in the soil. After this, we basically create a model of machine learning to use this information, and we do the projection of what will be the distribution in the soil of the carbon in the soil right now and from the future. The other part that we use is the drones. This part reduce a lot of our limitations with satellites, so we have more close information, more spatial resolution, let's say so. Of course, we also have some limitations and considerations. We need to deal with sensitive to illumination and weather conditions, and we have some kind of limited during the endurance of the battery and so on. In this part, we are using not only one project, but several of them. We are going to the field using the RGB images and also some other information from spectral cameras and so on, so we can basically expect more or less what are the field conditions in that specific spot. In here, we are using RGB images. This is some kind of LiDAR images that give us the altitude of the trees in that space. Basically, with this, we can construct some digital surface model. After this, we can extrapolate from here where should we put our sensors, how to irrigate this field, what are the needs from this specific field in there. Multispectral images is also important to us to also inspect the health of our cultures. Not only this part, but also the RGB images. We can pick up our drones and do the evaluations that normally is done by the human persons, let's say. So, wait, yeah, I think the videos are not working. Could you click on there? No? Oh, this is very sad now. Because everything is video since here. So they are not working, right? Try to click on. Okay, if you... No? Probably is the doing the download is not. Yeah, oh, sadly. But basically what you are doing in there is pick up the drone and go to the field checking that yellow traps and counting each one of the flies that were in there. In the other part, we are using also drones to detect the olive knot problem in the olives. So basically, you have an olive grove and you don't have the amount of persons to go there and check each one of the olives, so you send a drone to do this type of classification. After that, we have the low level, like the RGB cameras, so where you're using like in cell phones, robots, and so on. And the main problems that we have in here is like very sensitive to illumination and viewpoint, and also some very limited spatial coverage. So we need these two local problems and not like to an all field problem. In here, it also some videos they will not work also, but they are more related with the part of identification grapes and in the part of the vineyards to not only access the health of that, but also try to produce and to estimate the production that you'll have on that field. This is no, also no. Okay. Basically, the second one is an application that we developed to do the classification of cultivars in olive trees, just taking a photo of the leaf of the olive trees, identify not only the cultivar but also the health of the tree. So detect diseases and also some carencies of nutritional to the tree. And the second video is like doing this on the olive mill. Identify each one of the olives that pass in that olive mill, identify the maturation stage of them, and pass this information to the technique of the mill so we can optimize the temperatures of the water to extract not better olive oil but also a bigger amount of them. Basically, this was the work and the things that we are doing in images in the CEDRI, and I'm sorry by the videos, but they are really not working on. So if you have any questions or doubts, please.
I'm sorry. So, oh, okay, it was enough, my voice. So it can attract young people because it's technological agriculture, and I would appreciate if this work could be used to in a workshop or something in agriculture school. So that our students can realize that we are not attracting them to do old-fashioned agriculture, but to do technological agriculture. And also, since I'm doing promotion at secondary schools, I'm inviting you one day to go with us to secondary schools and professional schools so that we can show that we can attract students for agriculture, but it's not the normal agriculture of hands on earth, soil. It's an agriculture with hands on a command or something of a drone or whatever it is. And congratulations, it was really very pleasant. And please diffuse the work among young people, not just the old people that are already doing agriculture. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Do you want to make some comment or?
Well, I don't know if okay, it's working. We already have some of this dissemination, let's say. So we are working with Professor Arlindo from your school. We already do some divulgation in the EPA, in Professional of Carvalhais in Mirandela, and we are preparing also something on the agraria. So probably we can merge all the ideas and do it together.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You need to proceed. So thank you very much, João, for your contribution. And of course, João is from CEDRI, and the coordinator of CEDRI is Paulo Leitão. So if everyone wants to get in contact, there are here some students, maybe they want to to join some of these areas, so please, Professor Paulo Leitão is the coordinator of the center. So we will proceed, and now I will give the stage to Simo and to Fernanda Roman. Okay? Thank you, Fernanda, for accepting the invitation.
Morning. Thank you very much for the invitation, for the introduction, Professor. So my name is Fernanda. I work at the Mountain Research Center, and today I'm going to present an ongoing work in our group. We work with the production of carbon nanotubes, and I will talk a little bit more about that, but this is, I just like to start by saying that this is a project that has been going on for the past 8 years, so it's a long project already. It started with a formal project by FCT, and we kept in our group because we saw a lot of value in this project. And why this project matters. In our project, we do carbon nanotubes using plastic solid waste. And this is a very important issue, not only here in Europe, not only here in Portugal, but worldwide. This data is from European Union only. So if we look at the worldwide data, it's going to be much worse, but we're going to focus today just on Europe. So we have about 30 million tons of waste being generated yearly in Europe. That's a lot of waste. And if you take a look at the graph on there, you can see that about 23% of this plastic waste is going to landfills. So we have 23% of every plastic that we consume that ends up in a landfill. And I think most of us know what the problems of plastics are when they are in landfills. They are very hard to degrade. They will stay there for a very long time. So in Europe, that's the number, 23% in average, but Portugal is a little bit worse. I don't know if it's easy to see in this graph, but it's about 33%. In the European Union, on the other hand, it has a recycling target for plastic of 55% in 4 years from now. So I don't think we're there yet. If we take a look back at this graph, to get to 55%, I would need that all the plastic that goes to landfill start to be recycled. I don't think this is possible. And this is where our project will be located. So we need emerging technologies. We need new technologies to make sure that this plastic that goes to landfills gets converted in other products that gets recycled. So the issue, well, we have costs related to this mismanagement of plastics, environmental costs, but we also have economical costs because we are losing resources. So we have produced these plastics from petroleum-based products, and we are losing this value associated with that. And on the other hand, carbon nanotubes are typically produced from fossil resources as well. So we also have the issue of depending on these resources. So we need to find alternatives also for the production of those materials. So our project, it supports somehow the circular economy because we're valorizing waste into resources, we're helping decarbonization of the sector, we're producing sustainable materials, and we are potentially integrating into regional management systems. And why carbon nanotubes specifically? Well, carbon nanotubes are very strategic materials, especially for technologies that will allow European Green Deals, the European Green Deal, and specifically in topics related to environmental catalysis, to energy storage and conversion, so it can allow us to move to more advanced batteries, fuel cells, to use other sources of energies. And it's very interesting for the production of lightweight composites and for sensors and electronics. So carbon nanotubes are essential for the new technologies that are coming, and we need to produce them in a greener way. I will not go too much into the technical details because I don't think this is the point of this presentation, but I do want to show to you a little bit what are carbon nanotubes, because I don't know if everybody has met this type of materials before. So carbon nanotubes are those materials that we see here. This is at the nanoscale, so this is 20 nanometers. This is 1,000 times thinner than a hair. And carbon nanotubes are just tubes, at the nanoscale made completely out of carbon. And because of these characteristics, because of this format, this structure, they have very specific characteristics that are relevant for the industry, as I mentioned earlier. So these are carbon nanotubes. They are pretty cool to work with, pretty cool to look at, and we have to do very specific imaging to analyze and to understand what we have. Okay. I will not talk about applications and so on because this is not interesting for us today. But one other thing that I wanted to mention is how we can integrate this type of project into a circular economy. And right now what we have is we have our consumer, we consume these plastic products. Once it reaches its end of life, we either recycle, do energy recovery, but a lot still goes to landfill. Our project will avoid this step specifically, the landfilling, and we propose this production of carbon nanotubes, which is an upcycling technology that can yield 3 types of products. And all those products, they can be used somehow. So we have the carbon nanotubes, but we also have some liquid products and hydrogen. So hydrogen is an energy vector. It can be used for this purpose. And the liquid products as well. They can either be used as an energy vector or for raw products in the production of several other things. And our carbon nanotubes then can be used for several purposes. Water treatment, for instance, which is the main focus in our group, and then also some energy-related applications. But there are several perspectives we can discuss. We can help with reduction of the plastic waste entering landfill. We can avoid fossil feedstock for the production of CNTs, and we are lowering the greenhouse gas emissions. And we also can do some covalarization of the other products, as I mentioned before, so increasing the value of the whole sector. But there are several issues we still need to solve in this research line. We need to increase our CNT's yield because we still have a lot of losses in the process. We need to reduce the costs of the catalysts used in the process and the environmental footprint because it's an energy demanding process. And we also need to work a little bit on the recovery of the catalysts used in this project. We also need to think about how to make the purification of this process a little bit greener and how to increase the valorization of the other products. And of course, evaluating the technical and life cycle assessment of the product is always something important as well. So I wanted to be very fast. I cannot go into every detail. It's a very technical project. So if you are interested in nanotechnology, valorization of waste, I am available to talk about this. And this is my email, so you can contact me and we can discuss a little bit more closely technical part, because if I were to enter in every detail, I think I would bore you. But thank you.
Well, very short question. Anyone else? Okay.
It is not exactly related to the project you presented. Congratulations anyway. But you spoke about people interested in using wastes. So I maybe not directly to you, but to the team. We have a project at IPB that is a volunteering project related to clothing and shoes. Professor Filomena already knows what I'm going to say, and I want her involved in this. But we have a lot of clothes and shoes that people give to our clothing bank and to that are not exactly in good conditions for us to give to people. It is a circular economy project. We want people to be fond of using second-hand clothing and shoes. but some of them are not in conditions to be given to people. So we would like to have an internal project, not those projects that are around, we put clothes there and we never know in which black hole they will fall. And nothing is done. In most of the cases, they are going to the ocean making clothing islands. So I would defy those people related to the use of materials to develop whatever that we have at the clothing bank of IPB, a lot of shoes and clothes that we would like to use for scientific projects. Okay, thank you.
Oh, yes.
Actually, I'm from the Masters. Hello, my name is Hayane. I already know Fernanda. And I'm developing a consultancy for fashion brands. I'm from the fashion design field. So I think maybe we can talk a little bit more. Because I've already had this idea and I talked to Professor Vera, but as the amount of clothing, the synthetic fibers are huge. We need to make something for the demand of it, because it's huge. Yes. So maybe furniture or something like that. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Professor.
Okay, thank you. You have here also Maria José Ferreira from the Footwear Technological Center, so you can also pose the idea to her. And I would thank Fernanda, thank you very much for the nice talk. Fernanda is working directly with my colleague Elder, that is present here. And of course, I have to say that the coordinator of the lab where I belong also is José Alberto Pereira, but we had a very wide range lab, from agriculture to product development to food. So in this case, maybe it's better to contact directly the groups that are related to the topics. And now I will call to the stage my colleague Luis, that is from GICOS. You have here, okay.
Hello, good morning. Let me thank Filomena for the invitation. So I will talk about a subject that is very broad, but I will talk about different works that goes from material formulation and material development to some projects related with sustainable construction. So I belong to, as was said, to GICOS. That is one of the most recent research groups at IPB. Okay, it is a research group in sustainable construction. And I will take two slides only to present the group. We are focused on that three different topics: energy, environment, and management, materials, products, and eco-construction, and structural engineering. Okay, that we have different topics inside these research lines, but mainly, so this is not formatted as it was, but you can read it. Mainly, we are focused on that sustainable development goals inside the research center, but mainly related with the use of natural materials like wood, recycled concrete or aggregates, and other natural materials to be used for construction materials, okay, or construction products. Okay. So the fit of these construction products is inside the European products regulation that was changed briefly in 2024, more for green transition and digital transition. but it continues to be to require some technical requirements, and this is where we fit our work. Okay, so we focus on that. Some rectangles are colored, you cannot see, but we focus our work in structural integrity, fire safety, safety in use, acoustic performance, energy efficiency and thermal performance, and sustainable resources. So all our works, our projects can be fitted inside these topics. And we usually work on different level of scales, from micro scale, level 1, small scale testing, and full scale testing. So we can go from material formulation to product design and product consolidation, making full scale tests in mechanical loads, using thermal loads, and fire loads, fire conditions. Okay, and we also follow this design process using also numerical methods, using usually finite element model to create digital twins to simulate and to do some optimization. Okay, so one of the projects that I will show you, it is the fire cell. So this is a project supported by FCT, the Portuguese Science and Technology Foundation, and also from European funds. So the objective is to pick some solid steel beams, a structural element, to cut it in a different way, to increase the resistance, to increase the stiffness. Okay, so we are reducing the amount of material, increasing at the same time the resistance, the mechanical resistance, and also the fire resistance. Okay, this is a project that started last year. It is an ongoing project, and I'm showing you some of the experimental tests done in our research lab. And you can see some comparison of these experimental tests with numerical simulations. So it is a research project that will go until 2028. Okay, it is still running. Okay, one project that is that was done also inside the group. It is the iFire door. It was a project developed with the support of a company that is a private company that is Mofreita, done inside the group, but also with the collaboration of Filomena from the Mountain Research Center. And the idea, the work was to develop a totally fire door totally based on natural materials. As you know, the fire doors usually are very heavy, usually made of steel, and usually it brings some problems in the building process. So the idea was to build and to create a fire door with wood-based materials, but inside the core, the insulation material, we studied different materials, including polyurethane, rigid polyurethane, that was formulated with fire retardants to increase the behavior at elevated temperatures and in fire conditions. We optimized the multi-layer of the leaf, the multi-layer composed usually by different wood panels, and also with an internal core. It can be a matte wool, like rock wool, for example, or other insulation material, as I said. Okay. So, of course, to optimize this material and the product, we needed to characterize all the materials from the thermal performance to the mechanical performance. We optimized the dimension of the cross section for the leaf, for the door leaf, using numerical simulation. This is one thing that we usually use it in design, okay? And you are seeing here, the images are not so clear, but you can see in the black image some, I will show the next one, some final experimental tests in a final prototype in which we can determine the behavior in fire conditions, okay? And at the end to quantify the fire resistance of each prototype, okay? So that project already finished. We are not now applying for a financial support for the industrialization of the product, okay? So we have some ongoing research related with the design of composite panels, natural-based composite panels. And I will show you briefly two different composite panels. One made of panels of MDF and OSB that are commercial panels, but we are designing the core insulation to have a composite section, including, and this core insulation to give to the multi-layer product acoustic, thermal, and fire resistance, okay? And we are designing the process using different cork agglomerates with different dimensions, as you can see there, and we are characterizing the product, again, determining the thermal conductivity, the adhesion between different layers, okay? Calculating or determining the mechanical resistance, and also what you can see here is how this kind of material behaves when it is exposed to elevated temperatures, to evaluate, and in some cases to optimize the fire reaction of this material when it is exposed to fire, okay? To quantify how the material burns, if it burns, and how much energy it can release during a fire, okay? So this is, these kind of panels are being under development. This is also a project that is being done with Ostrava University, in which the panels are composed with hemp fibers and torrefied hemp chives also. And these hemp chives that are burned are already hemp fibers that were burned during a combustion process, are used as fire retardants, okay? Because this torrefied hemp has an elevated percentage of carbon, and it works very good as thermal and fire insulators, okay? So we are optimizing the formulation. Okay, you cannot see very well in the text, but we are considering the percentages of resins, percentages of the hemp and the torrefied hemp, okay? Some results that we have here, okay? For the mass loss and also for the heat release rate and for the thermal conductivity. Saying that for these panels with these composite materials with hemp chives, we have lower thermal conductivity, higher fire reaction when compared, for example, with MDF that is a commercial product, okay, for the same density. Okay. So we are using all this information now in a very recent research project, okay. It is the pre-wall project. I don't have results to show you. It started last month, in late December. But the idea, only to show you, is to use all this information about material design, natural materials to be used for construction products, and we will design a modular construction wall, okay, to be used in sustainable construction using lightwood framing. Okay. The project has a consortium with the company Mofreita and Gran Norte, that is a Cork company dedicated to a company dedicated to the cork products, okay? And the idea is to design it, including the mechanical fixations, all the products in the wall, the structure part and the insulation, but also the fixations to be able to fix different wall models and to create a real wall, okay? So this is all I had to show you, okay? Any question?
Thank you, Luis.
Can talk.
So again, time for a short question. No? Okay. Yes, we have to congratulate, yes. And so I think that in this case, Luis is vice coordinator of the center, yes. And the GICOS is coordinated by Paul Piloto, so you can speak directly with Luis, and of course congratulations for the nice work. It is really, I am from Simo, but I would like to be half half in GICOS. Maybe I can consider it in the future. So let's go to the last presentation of the research centers, that is CITED. And here we have Cristina Mesquita, that is the coordinator of the center. So welcome, Cristina, and thank you very much for accepting the invitation.
Está, Nuno? Tá. Agora já estou a sentir. Hi, everyone. Thank you for the invitation. It is very important for CITED to be here with all of you. What I'm going to present, it's not a project. It's one of the axes that we are developing in our research center. The name that I gave to this presentation, it's Researching with the Territory, Creating with Communities, and Transforming with Culture. And I love to hear all the projects that were fantastic projects for people living well, living in a good way. But who are these people, and what are the people characteristics in our region and in our country? And that's what we need to research also. So we can develop, we can know better their needs, we can know better their super habits, and we can know better their culture. So what we research, and we have several projects regarding that, it's research the communities, research people, research the organization that works with people in social aspects, but also in educational aspects. That is our main focus with these projects. So, why is it important to research in the territory, culture, and arts axis? The territory is a producer of knowledge, not just context. For instance, we have here in our territory Mirandese language. We need to research in linguistics and all the valuable things that that language have, and what that means to that community of Miranda do Douro. And this is a super habit that we have, and we have to explore much more these kind of things, and we are working with the association to do it in a better way. Culture, structures, identity, belonging, and social cohesion. All we know that the characteristics of our territory, it's people, we have many elderly people. So we need to provide better life for that people. Many of them are isolated. Many of them does not have people that take cares of them. And we know that the solution that we have is social organizations, care organizations. But we need to provide things in a different way. Not only for social economy, it is not very good to have institutions, so much institutions, but to provide in their territory, in their homes, conditions to be better there. The arts are languages of participation. So that's why we include the arts in our research center. Participation, inclusion, and transformation. And we could give here some ideas of projects that our colleagues from arts develop, like No Project and also the Viva Avó project or other projects. In this moment we are working with gift children's, and the way that we are connected with them, it's with arts. Inland spaces are inspiration for social and scientific innovation. Because we have very good, we have interesting traditions, we have a full and empower culture, so we have and we are trying to explore it. These acts respond to contemporary education, social and political changes. How we are going to foster cohesion, because we are different from the other parts of the country, and also, but we have similarities with other countries, and we are exploring that also. So, where do we want to research? And we want to, and we are doing it already. Territory as an educational culture and political space. Tangible and intangible heritage in dialogue with communities. This is not trying to make research about the heritage from themselves. It is what is the value of the heritage from that communities and what is important for them to research. Arts as a methodology, I already said that. Culture education, artistic mediation, and citizen participation. One of the most, for me, the most interesting projects that Carlos was a project that built together, connected with a company, one company, the wood company that Luis referred, the inclusion of people with special needs, and also the arts. So it was a very interesting project that I think we should replicate in other ways. So, local knowledge, cultural practices, and social innovation, and situated interdisciplinary research with territory and facts. One of the projects that I love the most, because I was very involved, and I think someone has presented it, was Oliashane. And it was interesting because our part in the project, it was to connect one of our projects, that was olive oil, to education. And we did that regarding the STEM approach. And we did that in schools with teachers. And it is very, very interesting to see how we can connect that. And also, of course, we were talking about sustainability. To the children knew better the products that we have in our region. It was very interesting to do that. Examples of the ongoing and future projects, from knowledge to action, culture and community. I referred some of them. Participatory projects on identity, memory and belonging. and community artistic practices and social inclusion. And I would like to talk about a little bit the Culture for All project. That was a project with people from GICUS. In this moment, we are connected with other people, with other research centers. And it is an end and an ongoing project because we are doing that. Claudia, that is the responsible for that project, that connects the museums in a easy transforming the adaptation of the language to easy language for all. For people that does not have so many instruction, but also for people that have some disabilities, blind people, people that can't hear, deaf people. So it is also a very interesting living heritage in enhancement and resinify local cultural heritage, educational and artistic process with communities. And I think our team of the arts are very expertise in that field. So it's an open access to all kinds of researchers. This is interesting to see because we need technicians to help us. Of course, people from CEDRI are usually helping us with the apps, with games, with the artistic and cultural agents. We have to, and we are working with museums, we are working with social organizations, the institutions. One of the recent challenge that Vera gave to us, it's to work with the Association of Autochthonous Producers, and because they face social challenges in their work. So it is very interesting to know, and thank you Vera for involving us. And we are involving master and doctoral students that in their thesis dissertations are working in this. So CITES is a space for research with meaning, create with the territory, producing knowledge with social and cultural impact. This axis is for us an important an opportunity to think, act, and transform our communities and our territory. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cristina. And does anyone have a question? Ah, okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. When I arrived fast 2 days ago, I was explaining about the region and so on, and you are called the territory behind the hills or behind the mountains. I'm wondering, and you talked about collaboration or exchange with other cultures and so on. The first line and the last one is, the first one is territory and then the last one is transforming. Is it a concentration on what is particular for you because you have been saved from other influences? Or it's about the communal or similarities with other cultures around the whole country? So there are two distinct things. It's just by curiosity, because you are unique apparently.
I think the inland have similar characteristics in Portugal. But there are other countries that have the same characteristics. For instance, some regions in France have the same characteristics that we have, and also in Spain. And here in Galicia, that is very close to us. So this is particular, the study that we are doing, it's particularly regarding our region, but this is transferable, and we want to participate in projects and aggregated efforts to know it better. But for instance, the region in the middle, in the center, the inland near Spain, have some characteristics that are, in terms of culture, we are different traditions and food, but regarding population and communities, we are very near. So it is not only for our region, it is to expand and to give more expression to these ideas, yes.
Okay,
I
thank
don't know
you.
if I understood what...
Another one.
I just wanted to say that sometimes you guys don't highlight what you are good at,
Yes.
what is particular to you, because melting with others might not be beneficial for, let's say, tourism.
But we have concentration in our region, particularly, and in this moment. So then we can be with the others. But now it's for learning about our territory. We called it, in one of the presentation, our living lab. So our territory, it's our living lab.
Not a question, because you are the last one, and we are in a Stars EU Day. So just a comment and a challenge, of course. I think somehow we are already doing it, but we need to do it in a greater dimension. So we are cooperating through TIGS. So TIGS already joined different institutions in Stars EU. As a result, we already have a very nice number of Erasmus projects together. So the challenge is, of course, we are going step by step, but also joining our research structures and cooperating directly inside Stars EU Alliance. And this is one example, and I forget already, but I saw also other colleagues talking in very nice projects where we link and study Portugal and Spain. So we need to start linking and studying the different regions of the different partners of Stars EU Alliance, and of course it's a challenge for all of us too. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Cristina. So as I already told, Cristina is the coordinator of CITED, so everyone that is interested can reach her. So we close this first session, and we go to another very special session. And before introducing Maria José, I would like to thank all my colleagues for the other research groups. I think it was a very interesting moment. So even we think that we do all very different things, we can have connections and bridges. And I think that maybe we can start to organize this type of meetings where we present some of our research from the different groups in order that we can know better each other, okay? I don't know if we have some problems. Okay. So maybe I will start to introduce Maria José. So Maria José Ferreira is the director of the Labs and Research and Sustainability Department of the Footwear Technological Center in Portugal. It is for me a great pleasure to introduce her. I have a long cooperation with the Technological Center, I would say more than 20 years. And Maria José is for me like a mentor. And I'm always very proud to tell everyone that I have this long-lasting and very fruitful cooperation with the Footwear Technological Center that is also for Portugal an example of the development, economic development, and also in this question of circular economy and sustainability. The Footwear Technological Center, I would say, that was one of the centers that started to be concerned about this question. So I will give the stage to Maria José, my old colleague and cooperator, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Filomena. Thank you so much, colleague and friend. It is an honor to be here. It's a great pleasure. I'd like to begin by congratulating IPB for this extraordinary conference and all these days of work. This is excellent. I would like also to thank the invitation, and I will share with you some of the results that we are achieving together in the frame of the BioShoes for All project. I think I have to move on the presentation. Let's show. I'm here representing CTCP, that is the Portuguese Footwear Technological Center, and also the Portuguese Footwear Cluster. We are a complete cluster, including companies from that manufacture footwear, but also the materials, the technologies, the softwares, and the research entities like IPV. We have the pleasure to work with IPV, to collaborate together for more than 20 years now. So it's a long partnership with great results. For our cluster, it's fundamental to really truly support our decisions based in these three pillars of sustainability. Since 2019, we have in implementation a sustainability and action plan, and more recently a strategic plan for 2030, in which sustainability in all these dimensions is a must, is really the support of our work. I will begin by introducing a little bit what is the footwear industry around the world. So we are 12 million persons working for you. We want also that you collaborate with us in order that we can develop products that are more adequate, that you like more, that you preserve more, that you use longer, because this is one of the aspects that is hindering the sustainability. These workers produce annually over 24 billion pairs of shoes. So this is a lot of shoes and a lot of resources that are extracted from our planet. This production more than doubled in the last 40 years. But in this graph, you see the arrows. I will try to see if this is a pointer. No. So you see the darker columns. This is the growth of the footwear production. And the lighter ones are the growth of the population. So you see that in these decades, the population growth, but not the proportion of shoes that are made is gigantic. And each one of us is, let's say, using several pairs of shoes, new shoes per year. And you are also discarding them, so wasting all the materials that are there. On top of this, that could be interesting for the industry, because growing is what we want as an industry. What you see here is that in these decades, in this period, also there was a shift in the production. So in 1985, 34% of the shoes were produced in Europe, and now only 2.3%. The shoe production moved to Asia, and only China produces now above 50% of the shoes produced and sold worldwide. So this is something that we are trying to analyze all the time and prepare ourselves. How can we survive in Portugal to this? These are our figures. Our figures indicate that we have a big number of companies. We are yet relevant in terms of employees, and also that despite what I showed in the previous slide, we have been capable of growth. So we didn't grow in the number of pairs, so we reduced the number of pairs that we produce, but we grow in terms of exports. So we are exporting now much more than in the beginning of that period. So our industry economically has been capable of performing well. And we would like to thank you for using Portuguese shoes, and also all our partners and the research partners are very important to achieve these results. What we did, because we export 90% of our production, we really find that producing shoes that are different, that have high quality, that are durable, is recognized by the consumers. And therefore, the shoes that we export are the second more expensive in the world. So we have the second highest export price in the world, just after Italy. Without doubt, this has been supported namely by the work done in research and development. And here in this table you see the projects that we have been having along the years. In the beginning of our research plans we had a lot of projects because they're very small, and now we have less projects but very big projects. And for the last 20 years, as I mentioned, we had mainly big projects, and always in this, along this period, EPB has been a very important and present strategic plan. One of these projects, the biggest one done till the moment in our industry, is BioShoes for All. We had some videos, but will not be able to show, so we move on. So what are the goals of BioShoes for All? Is really to promote the transition of our cluster to an economy based in renewable resources. Actually, even when you have the upper made in leather that is a renewable resource, you have more than 50% in wake of fossil resources in your shoe. So you want to make this transition, to be moving away from fossil non-renewable resources that also impact on climate change and so on, to bioresources, and using natural-based local Portuguese bioresources that are now wasted, that you cannot use them in the for human consumption or animal consumption. They are thrown away. So they are the ones that are our topic. Of course, we want also to develop footwear and leather goods, so bags that are more differentiated, that have lower carbon footprint, ecological footprint, and that, if possible, can be recycled or more easily recycled at the end of life. This project involves 69 partners, a huge investment, and has already delivered more than 50 products, shoes products, and name more than 150 results, and I will resume and show some. This is the consortium. I would like to thank the consortium because all the consortium and PB in particular, they have been amazing. For me, it has been a pleasure really to coordinate this project because it's really a spiral of innovation that is being generated. And also we have big support from the PRR, the Portuguese Resilience Recovery Plan, APA, and Fundo Ambiental. The project has main 5 focus areas. As could be understood from the previous slide, biomaterials. So we are developing a range of biomaterials, sustainable footwear, and moving, if possible, to a more circular economy. Trying to valorize the wastes that generated during the production, and also giving the first steps to go circular, cycling, end-of-life products. Also, the project invests a lot of new production technologies, but I will not focus them, and training and promotion. So, this is a simplified picture of what is a shoe, because when we use the shoe, we cannot appreciate the number of materials that are over there. Normally, these are the minimum parts a shoe has. You don't see them, but this is the minimum. And each of these parts frequently is composed of materials that are chemically different. So in the outside, in the upper, you can have 2 or 3 different materials, and all of these requires that we develop these materials and that we imagine how to assemble these complex materials, and also how can we recycle them at the end of life. So in this complexity, normally you should know that in average 20 different materials are used in the shoe. Theoretically, we would like that they're all of the same chemical family. At the end of the life, we could recycle the shoe itself. But this is not happening. Another reason that the materials are so important in footwear is that they represent more than 45% of the cost. Our costs are truly very related with the materials we choose. We choose leather, that is, let's say, noble material, but this is an expensive material. So we would like to develop materials that balance better this. We are paying the workers less than what we are spending in the materials that we integrated in shoes. Therefore, at the end of the life of the shoe, we would like to recover these materials, to give these materials a new life. Regarding the biomaterials that we are developing in the project, and we have here a small exposition that you can visit. So you have here examples of biomaterials and some examples of circular economy, and I will take this back just to talk a little bit about some of these materials. So how the project begin? Begin by selecting at the national level a range of bioresources, charges, whatever, that have no use and that could be interesting for us. More than 20 charges were studied. And these include, for example, coffee ground that was treated to produce leather, for example, like here. So we have the coffee grounds, and we prepare some extracts. These extracts are then used to tan the leather. So the leather, what is the leather? The leather is hides that are from animals that are used for human consumption only. We don't use other types of hides. So these are a sub-product of the food industry. And we chemically transform the hides in leather. So this did a chemical stabilization, and in this case it was the coffee dust that was transformed. We also use others like olive leaves, pine tree bark, wine prunings, a lot of them, and you will see in the table displayed rice, whatever. Regarding leather, because leather is a relevant asset for our industry. It is important to understand that if you use a shoe that is made with the upper in leather, of course you can choose others. If you use this kind of shoe, you will have a durable shoe that can even be repairable, that is very comfortable. You will not heat or cool too much your shoes. I have shoes with more than 10 years that look like new, so this is very durable. However, the shoe normally has a cost, and meaning that the shoes made with leather have a higher cost but have a higher added value. In this case, what we wanted was to transform the process of making the leather, because okay, it is a novel material, but it uses a lot of chemicals, water, and so on. So we revise all the process of making leather, reducing the chemicals used, reducing the water used, reducing the waste generating, and produce exceptional quality leathers that have really good, very good properties to be used in the footwear. The leather for us has also the advantage of the added value. A shoe with the upper in leather has economical added value much higher than if we produce a shoe made in a synthetic material. The consumer is able and is, let's say, wants to pay more for a leather shoe, and this makes more profit for our industry. So that's why we focus so much in this material. But many of us don't want to use leathers coming from the animal hides, and therefore we develop also coated textiles. What is a coated textile? Is a textile, for example, polyester, that has like a finishing, a coating. What we have in the market is mostly coated textiles that are almost 100% non-renewable. So coming from fossil resources. What you want to research here is textiles, for example, cotton, that are coated with biomaterials like bio-TPUs, and that can also have other charges. For example, in this case, we develop a material with olive stone, grinded olive stone, and in total this material has a good performance and over 72% of carbon, biogenic carbon. So it's a big, huge concentration of biogenic carbon, and that is the objective. Of course, we need also other kind of components like adhesives and finishings, and here with EPB is leading this area of developing adhesives that are bioadhesives, so bio-TPU based, and also water-based. And this is very important for our industry. Also, we need polymers because we don't want hard soles, we want flexible, comfortable shoes with very comfortable soles. So we need also to develop the biopolymers that are in the soles. In this case, we are developing, for example, EPB is developing bio-TPU materials that can be used in soles. So this is in the research stage. Also, we are developing bioEVAs, also at research stage, and we already develop polymers based in natural rubber, so really coming from the Hevea brasiliensis tree, in which we have this seva and transform them in a biopolymer. We were able to develop soles that are already being launched to the market with over 80% of biogenic carbon. So this is very relevant. In some specific applications, we reached even over 90% of biogenic carbon. Some of these soles, we have been increasing the carbon content by recycling some national wastes, like, for example, leather. Our industry is using the leather in the upper, and of course, this generates a waste. So what we do is, for example, grinding this leather, drying, so preparing, there needs to be some chemical compatibilization too, and introducing it in the soles to introduce added value again. Also, we can use cork, rice, and many others. Also developing other components. I will not detail all the components, but we are, as you see, developing materials and components for all the parts of the shoes that we were mentioned in that figure. With all these results, we are developing bioshoes. In this case, we have developed already more than 50. This is the numbers. What we target with this developing, not only to be bio, but also to measure, in this case, the environment footprint. So we do this at CTCP, following, this is a life cycle analysis, but is done based in a European methodology that makes the results more comparable. And we use specific data sets. In this case, you see that we could develop a range of different products with lower carbon footprint or environment footprint or fossil resource footprint. One other aspect of this project is that we don't want that results stay at lab. We want them to go to the production and to the market. So this is a different project in terms that not only includes the research and development, but also the investment in new technologies. In this case, for example, here you see two images of the two first technologies of these kinds that we have in Europe. So Portugal was the first to have these technologies. And what are these technologies? Because we are so worried with the cycling and recycling of materials and shoes. Normally, when you use your soles and they are foams, so you have pure foams, polyurethane foams, or EVA foams. That is mostly what you have in your shoes when your sole is soft and is a foam. These foams are lightweight, of course, and comfortable, but they are not easily recycled. They are very difficult to recycle. They are not thermoplastic, so when you heat, they don't melt and you cannot process. Normally this happens because of the process of reticulation and expansion, that is a chemical expansion. What we decided is to have EVA and polyurethane foams, but that continue to be thermoplastic. And so when they are injected, the thermoplastic material is injected, heated, injected to mold the sole. We inject also a gas. In this case is nitrogen. And this is the gas that is making the expansion. So the sole, at the end of the life, will be grinded and recycled again. So we are trying to solve the problem from the origin. So generating foams that can really be recycled per se and not developing recycling processes at the end when we already have the problem and the soles are more difficult to recycle. So just to let you know different approach that we are going and proceeding in this project. Of course, we are developing shoes for all the kind of users, from children to seniors, and even work shoes. Regarding circular economy, we have two approaches. One was we wanted to, as much as possible, deliver solutions in order to recycle all the footwear and leather goods and components industry from the industry. So all the waste that we have in the industry, we wanted to start solutions for them and, if possible, implement. I would like to say that for the moment, regarding the soles and all the components that are made in fossil-based materials, we have been able to study and have solutions to recycle them. Particularly thermoplastic materials, they are now recyclable, and we have materials with good quality with up to 90% of recycled content. We are being able to recycle rubber, also EVA in this particular case. With leather, we have difficulties, so we are introducing the leather in some other materials, but the solution that we envisage to recycle the leather, I think it will not go further. So the studies are done, but the municipality in which this equipment, that is a big installation to recycle the leather, was planned to be installed, that municipality is not authorizing the placement of this technology, that it's pyrolysis of leather. So I believe that that point will not be fulfilled, and we will still have the leather waste, but life is like this, we need to continue that work. But for the other materials, we are recycling them, and in the table you find a lot of soles and shoes also already made with these materials. This is one example in which not only we are recycling the wastes that we produce at our industry, but also making industrial symbiosis with other industries. For example, this plastic boot, it is a PVC boot, is made with PVC coming from fishing suites. So you see here the textile of the fishing suite, and that green part, this is PVC. The PVC is separated from textile, and the PVC is used in the boot, and this textile, that is polyester, is sent for recycling. So we developed not only at lab, but also implemented equipments to make the separation of these two materials and make all the process, screening and so on. And this is already been sold in a big brand. Regarding the post-consumption footwear, we did also steps. So we were able to collect some shoes. I have here some examples of what we did. So this is a shoe with a leather upper with different materials. We don't have this technology in Portugal, but we visited several of the companies of the project, went to this company that is in Holland, and used the system, a pilot system that they have over there, in which you introduce the shoes and some parts are separated. I myself, I was there too to check with my eyes what is happening. You don't see anything because the shoes really, they are placed in a conveyor and they enter a closed box. You don't see what is happening, but you see that some parts are separated. It's like if you are peeling a fruit, the upper part, the leather or textile, is coming in fragments. You have the example over there in the rotating device. And the sole materials, depending on the density, they are separated in a higher density, so more weight, and lower density. And there is a mix of fibers coming. What is happening? In order to be efficient, the system, you need to separate by brand and from the brand by reference. Because if you put your shoes and my shoes, the leather and the upper material you have will be mixed, and the sole that you have and mine also. And if we have rubbers, polyurethanes mixed, for example, or PVC or whatever, you have the same density, but they are not chemical compatible, and therefore you will have big problems. You will not be use that for nothing, even it's not usable. So we made this test. In this case, only these shoes were introduced. The sole was made in TPU, and the upper in leather, and we were able to separate and make some use of these materials. But this is a study. This is not industrial application. What we also did, in this case, is much more easy. We have shoes that are made of only one material, or eventually they have some elastic or some things that can be easily removed. In this case, is a true example of something that is being done in the project. Is a work footwear, is a professional footwear that you can use in an hospital. You can also use itself during the day, of course. It's like it's a polymeric material, so it's all made of polymer. At the end of the life, we implemented in the hospitals a place to put that is called walk point, and then we collect this and is going to the factory, is grinded, and makes new shoes. This is true. This is being done, but I should say that we expected more adhesion from the persons. Almost no one is having the work of throwing the shoe in the walk point. We made also another thing that is the same company. They also sell fashion boots, and these fashion boots, this is online. You can see is the Lemon Jelly brand. They have the close the loop, and you go there and you see what is happening. You can go send and receive a voucher for your shoes, but normally the consumer is yet not very collaborative, so I ask you, if you are in position, to please bring your shoes to any brand, any place that can valorize them. So these are examples of what we are doing. In terms of technology, I just bring to you the traceability platform. This platform was developed in order that you, as consumer, and all of us, you can know exactly what is inside your shoe, where that material is come. This is really true. We can do this. If it's a leather, where was the animal born? What happened during the life? If it's a fiber, the same, where was it planted, and so on. And also give you insights of the chemicals, the water, the carbon footprint, and what can you do in order to maintain your shoes, how can you clean, how can you repair, how can you make the life long, and what to do at the end of life. Again, another video that you cannot see, but okay. In the training and promotion, the final pillar, we did a lot of things. We're having a lot of communication to all over the world. Till the moment, more than 90 million persons were already impacted by our communication. This is one of the biggest areas of intervention of the project. And communication are directed to users, so if you want to see our channels, APICAP's channels in YouTube and so on, these videos are also there, but also make them available for you in order that you can see. And well, thank you so much. Thank you. I'd like to thank again to Filomena for her hard work.
It was a pity that we cannot see the videos because they were really, really, really nice. Yeah. And I'm asking if someone have a question. Okay. Annabella is, is going to win a prize.
This is a topic that interests me too very much, the circular economy. And so I'm sorry, I moved this side because I think it's resonance. Congratulations for all this work and these projects that I already knew a bit from Filomena and from the work of Filomena. It is amazing the amount of work that is being done and the importance of introducing the reuse and the circular economy ideas on the project, on your projects all around. But you said that 90% of the production of the Portuguese shoe is exported, meaning that I don't know, but I don't. 10% is for Portuguese use, but you also said that we have the second price in the shoes. And of course, if I could, I would use just Portuguese shoes. I know they are wonderful and very good quality and so on, but they are expensive, we must admit. So those 10% are not of Portuguese shoes that stay in Portugal are not the only shoes that Portuguese use. I wonder that about 90% of the shoes that Portuguese use come from China or around, meaning that we have another problem. We try to produce shoes that are eco-friendly, and we export the eco-friendship, and we stay with 10% of eco-friendship, and we have 90% of non-eco-friendly shoes to solve the problem in Portugal. I know that you cannot solve that problem, of course. I'm just raising this problem to know if some of those components you spoke about that you already tried to recycle and reuse in the Portuguese shoes come from those outside shoes also, that I think we all use. One or two of shoes we have at home, or maybe more, are for sure from Asia or around, and they are not eco-friendly, and we are going to have them when they are at end of career, let's say, when they are over, and they can be over in 2 to 3 months because they don't resist as Portuguese shoes. And we have an environmental problem to solve from shoes that we know don't produce, but that we have to get rid of, or to reuse, or whatever it is. I would like to know your opinion, but congratulations, your work is, the work that you all do on those projects is wonderful. And I would be very fond of using just Portuguese shoes.
Thank you. For your comment. I completely agree with what you are saying. Just to put some points in perspective. Yes, the shoes that we produce are exported at a high price, and we are importing a lot of shoes. However, in terms of economic value, our sector is one of the higher trade-offs, meaning that in value, in money, we export much more and with benefit for the country than the money we spend in import. So the trade-off is positive. That is one of the advantages for the country of our sector, because many sectors export, but of those same goods, we import much more in value. Regarding let's say, the cost of the shoes that we imported, many of you, you buy water in a plastic bottle. How much you pay for the bottle? centimes. But you pay euros for the shoes, plastic shoes, you pay euros. So who is more expensive in fact? Because we are putting there materials that are of the other quality, and of course maybe we have this price, but as you also mentioned, you use the shoes 2-3 months. I can use 5 years more. So this we need all of us to think. Sometimes progress and sometimes going forward means 2 steps, 3, but 1 back. Because there are situations that we need to give 3rd step, we learn and we decide that better was 1 back. And for consumption, I believe that is the case. We are overconsumption. 20, 25 years ago, we buy 1 pair, 2 pairs per year, and they last and you use them. And then because the price went down, everybody begins consuming, and this is additive. And this is not benefiting the persons, not from the point of view of their outfit, maybe, but also from mindset. People are exhausted, are spending a lot of time in buying and buying and buying, but are not being happy, are not feeling pleasure on that. And then they have to go to the wardrobes, to clean, to change, to look, to search. They don't know what they have. And then they go to some place, as you mentioned before, to give the things. But if you don't buy quality things, you will give waste. So someone will have to collect those waste. So my message is we are trying, as a Portuguese industry, to convey our products to the Portuguese market. And we are and will do a big effort in order to communicate the advantage of our products and also to try to deliver to the market, to the Portuguese market, products that have a correct relation of quality and price. We, even though we are second price, we are very in a big distance to Italy. So we are big than Spain and so others, but there is a big difference. So this big difference is our responsibility to deliver products that are in a range of product price that people can afford if they make this thinking. I want to have a product that is comfortable, that is last, but that is a reasonable price, even though I do agree with you, they are not cheap. That's true. Regarding the future, we plan to do more campaigns in order to help persons to also understand how to select the right shoe for yourself, how to really keep this shoe longer time. And I hope that you understand we need to pay the materials and the salaries, and we want the salaries of our workers to grow. That is very important. So we want everybody to have higher salary, and we need this equilibrium. So I hope that you agree with me and collaborate and use Portuguese shoes. Thank you.
No, thank you, Maria José. Just to understand better the shoes production in Europe, so we learn, of course, that in quantity it comes from China, so maybe in Europe more high-quality shoes. We know that we have first Italy, then Portugal, so how about the other European countries? So this is one question. And the other one is if the model for innovation and support of those industry in Europe is the same as in Portugal. So there are CTCPs in the other countries in Europe or not, and how do you cooperate together?
Obrigada. Thank you. Well, regarding the other countries, there are the production of footwear in Europe, mentioning Italy and Portugal, also Spain, Romania, because some of the shoes made in Italy are borderline produced over there. In France, there is still some production, but very, very low quantities of shoes produced in France. That was in the past a big producer, even in the case of luxury products, so this is keeping in France, but is very small quantities. UK in the past also a big producer. Now is almost no production of footwear in UK. Germany also in the past a very big producer. Now it's restricted to some shoes that, let's say, the uppers and almost everything is produced outside Germany, and the sole is stuck on, so it's kind of, let's say, glued the sole in Germany, but it's in some figures. If you see statistics, you will see a lot of, let's say, exports of shoes from Holland, because these products are imported from Asia to Holland and then are exported, so I am taking those. I'm really talking about the producers. So this is the scenario nowadays, and we believe or try that these Mediterranean 3 countries, Portugal, Spain and Italy, that we keep the production. We in Portugal also produce for many brands, so that is our focus. We produce for brands all over the world, medium to high end brands, and very not so much for very luxury brands, but we produce for some luxury brands. Regarding the other centers, here in Portugal we have this approach. We have this technological center that was created 40 years ago, so we are making this year 40 years that we were created as CTCP, even though in the past we were already existing as the APICAPS laboratory. APICAPS is the Footwear Association that decided long ago that the cluster need to have a lab for doing the quality control, the research and the technical assistance. Our model is that we have no incentives, so we can, as other institutes, apply together to collaborative research projects. The other incomes are from the services that we provide. So the main service provided by CTCP is quality control, followed by consultancy. And so that is how we are paying the salaries of our persons. We are a non-profit institute. In other countries, there is this model, for example, in Spain, but for example, in France, there is a fee. So all the companies need to pay a fee to the CTC in France, let's say, and with that fee, they finance themselves and have a certain level of persons. Even though they charge the services of lab and so on, they have a fee that is paid to maintain the infrastructure. In England, there is a private situation like ours, but the difference is that you don't need to be a CTCP member or anyone. Any of you can come to our institute, to CTCP, and if you need to make a celebration, whatever, we make this for everybody. With the UK entity, you need to be a member. You need to pay annually a big amount to be a partner, and with that, you have a right to a small number of tests, and if you want, maybe it's the sufficient for you, but if you want some extra works, you need to pay them. But of course, being like an association that you pay this amount facilitates managing the entity. So these are the 3 models, completely, let's say, more private, a mix, and let's kind of we collaborate with these partners at several levels. All of us, we belong to, are related with associations. For example, we are the technical branch of the Portuguese Footwear Association, and even though we do some training, as capacitation actions, there is a professional school for footwear. So these three entities are working in an harmonized way to deliver to the needs of the companies and to anticipate the needs of the future, strategic vision, innovation, and so on. In the other countries, this model also exists, and we collaborate with them in research projects, in training projects, and also in terms of strategic actions within the couple of a confederation, because we and the associations are organized in a confederation that is the European Footwear Confederation. And in this way, we are related and organized like this. We also have some congresses, shoe congresses, one that is more financial, political, strategic, that is done every couple of years, and we have one that is more technical, is very focused in footwear, and is also done every couple of years, so we have this kind of interactions. But I find that this kind of conferences with multiple different actors coming from different areas and knowledges and complementarities and much more interesting. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Maria José. We have a small gift for you here. And I think that Vera wants to give a final words. Thank you very much for all that stay all this time here and for your interest. I'm very grateful. And me and Carlos, of course, we are very grateful that we stay with us to listening all of these interesting speakers of this morning.
Wow, we have full house. I was sitting there and I didn't realize. So thank you for prevailing and staying up to this hour. I know you must need some food by now, but we have prize money for student prototypes. So this is very exciting for those sitting in the back, I hope. And I will need the help of Rebecca, who is coming there. And I also need my phone that has the results. And I would also use this opportunity while I check where are the results to thank to all the organizing team of the event. So thank you to all my colleagues from Team We who organized the 27th. So a big applause for them, please. Thank you. And also a big applause for Filomena and Carlos who organized today. And most of us were yesterday in Chaves, and that was the work of Annabelle and her team, so thank you, Annabelle and her team. IPB is big, and we only can do this when a lot of people come together and give hands to produce these events. So I will ask Professor Luís Pais, our Vice President, to give the check to our students. And we have 3 categories and we have 3 prizes. The first category related with health and social intervention projects. The big winner is Cubo Nutri. Are you here? Somewhere. A big applause for the girls. Can we have we have the picture there. You can, but I challenge the girls to use the money to improve the prototype. I remember your prototype. It's really interesting. So thank you. I will grab this. The money will go to your bank account afterwards. But no, please stay, because I want you to use 2 or 3 minutes to briefly explain your project to everyone.
Hello, my name is Andrea. This is Cristiana and this is Alejandra, and basically our prototype was a handmade educational game for children that consisted in 3 cubes, and in each cube it had a food group choosing between cereals, fruit, and dairy products, and basically the children's job was to assemble a balanced morning snack, and when they completed the sequence, if the sequence was correctly, it would fit through the Cookie Monster's mouth. And basically, we went on to Santos Martires kindergarten to make some activities with the children, because the morning snacks they were bringing weren't healthy, balanced, and nutritional balanced. So we made some activities with them with the help of some with the educators, and they helped us make those activities appropriate for the children. And basically we also, at the end of the day, the parents are the ones making those snacks for the children, so we also give them some informational flyers, and we managed our goal that was to improve those mid-morning snacks. And coming back to our prototype was one of those activities that we hope that in the future it has more impact.
Thank you. Congratulations on your work. You can go back to your seat. Thank you so much. The next check is being prepared. I am trying to do some time here to give them time to prepare. The next category is related with technology. So for those of you that didn't have the time to check the prototypes, we have prototypes in 3 different categories, and they all have in common the fact that the students worked hands-on producing some concrete results. So for the next project we have, let me check if I want to call, yes. So the team designing a game to enhance productivity and engagement. Congratulations. So thank you, guys. So I will do the same thing again. I will grab this and give you time to explain your project, please.
So our game, it's a partnership with Mo Freita, which is a carpentry factory in Macedo de Cavaleiro. And our game, it's a 3D, our project is a 3D game aiming to increase the motivation of the workers. It's a city building-like game where the workers can log in, check their tasks, and perform their tasks in the factory, and this translates in-game in points for their neighborhood, to their avatars, to, I don't know, buy furniture and trees and make their avatars more funny-like. And what else? And right now we are in the phase of the management approved the game as well. The workers did not test it yet, but the point is to keep going with this project for the next semester. That's it.
Congratulations, guys. Thank you so much. So the last category is on sustainability. And we almost have the check ready. So we have projects that use either local materials or also some byproducts from other industries that were somehow transformed chemically or physically to be still an added value product in another industry or in the same industry, very aligned with the presentations we heard this morning. Good, so now I can call the last team. It's trachea implants made from Ritalin-based materials. No one is here. Oh, they are here. Are you scared? Surprised, not sure. Even better business, 50-50. Do you want to explain to us what you did in this project?
Thank you very much. I don't have a prototype yet. It's just an idea. It was a project for subject about polymers and product development organized by Professor Barreiro. And our goal was to choose a material that would be bioderived and figured out what product could be made from this. And I chose with my colleague resilin, which is present in insects, but we can mass produce it using bacteria. And it can be used for creating implants. So we proposed the Traha implant, and thanks to the properties of resilin that can also be mixed with chitin to tailor its properties, like especially stiffness, we can create a product, the implant that would be better than these that are currently present on the market, because it would be more biocompatible, and there would be less risk of it being attacked by organism, and it could both bend and also be stiff enough to withstand the pressure while breathing. So this is the idea, and I haven't done anything practical in this project yet.
Thank you. Congratulations. So now some practical questions. The event is not finished just yet. We still have the afternoon in Mirandela, where we will have some activities around the art and creative industry stick. So you are all welcome to come with us. We will have a bus leaving from near the canteen, where all of we want to go now. It will leave at 2:30 in front of the canteen, okay? So those of you going to Mirandela using the bus, 2:30 in the canteen. For all the others that prefer to take your own car, the meeting point will be in the school, IPB school in Mirandela, okay? So thank you for this morning.